Every year, millions of people chase a higher salary, believing it will finally solve their financial problems. They work longer hours, negotiate raises, switch careers, and celebrate every increase in income. Yet months later, many find themselves in exactly the same position. Still stressed, still living paycheck to paycheck, and still wondering why financial freedom feels so distant. Meanwhile, countless self-made millionaires began with ordinary incomes, modest lifestyles, and no extraordinary advantages. Somehow, they followed a completely different path. So what explains the difference? This documentary challenges one of the most deeply rooted beliefs about money, that income is the foundation of wealth. Through behavioral finance, wealth psychology, real-world stories, and timeless investing principles, we'll uncover why two people earning the same salary can end up living completely different financial lives. The answer isn't hidden in a paycheck. It's hidden in the invisible decisions that shape every dollar before it's ever spent. By the end, you'll realize that wealth is rarely determined by what you earn. It's determined by how you think, what you value, and the financial identity you build over time. But before we can understand how wealth is created, we first have to understand the illusion that keeps millions trapped. If you asked 100 people what it takes to become wealthy, most would probably give the same answer. Earn more money. It sounds obvious. After all, how could someone become wealthy without a high income? It's a belief so deeply embedded in modern culture that very few people ever stop to question it. From childhood, we're taught a simple formula. Study hard, get good grades, find a high-paying job, earn more, spend better. Eventually, you'll become financially secure. On the surface, the formula makes perfect sense. But there is one problem. Reality doesn't follow it. Meet Daniel. Daniel graduates from university with an excellent degree and lands a prestigious corporate job. His starting salary is respectable, and over the next 10 years, it climbs steadily. Promotions arrive every few years. His friends congratulate him. His family is proud. By every traditional measure, Daniel is succeeding. As his income grows, so does his lifestyle. He upgrades from a small apartment to a luxury condo. He trades his reliable sedan for a premium SUV. He replaces perfectly functional electronics with the newest models every year. Business class flights become economy's replacement. Weekend dinners become expensive experiences instead of simple meals. Each upgrade feels deserved. After all, he worked hard for it. And besides, isn't this what success is supposed to look like? Now meet Alex. Alex earns almost exactly the same salary. He works in a similar industry, faces similar opportunities, experiences the same promotions. Yet his life looks remarkably different. His apartment is comfortable, but modest. His car is several years old. His phone only gets replaced when it stops working. He rarely buys something simply because it's new. To many people, Alex appears ordinary. Some even assume Daniel is far wealthier. But appearances are often misleading. Every month, while Daniel's increasing income disappears into an increasingly expensive lifestyle, Alex quietly moves part of his paycheck somewhere almost nobody notices. Investment accounts, index funds, business ownership, retirement portfolios, cash-producing assets. Nothing flashy, nothing impressive enough for social media, nothing that earns compliments from strangers. But something far more valuable is quietly happening beneath the surface. Ownership is replacing consumption, and ownership changes everything. At first, the difference between Daniel and Alex is almost invisible. $500 invested each month doesn't seem life-changing. Neither does delaying the purchase of a luxury watch, or driving the same car for another 3 years. These choices appear small, almost insignificant. But wealth rarely changes dramatically overnight. It changes silently, decision by decision, month by month, year by year. This is where most people misunderstand wealth. They assume wealth is created by large events. Winning the lottery, selling a company, receiving a huge promotion, making one brilliant investment. Those stories dominate headlines because they're exciting, but they aren't typical. Real wealth usually grows much more quietly, almost invisibly, like a tree. When you plant a seed, nothing remarkable happens the next morning, or the next month, or even the next year. From the outside, it appears as though nothing is changing. Yet beneath the soil, an entirely different story is unfolding. Roots are expanding. Strength is developing. Foundations are forming. The same principle applies to wealth. Long before financial freedom becomes visible, it becomes invisible discipline. And that's precisely why so many people miss it. Because our brains naturally value what we can see. Luxury cars, beautiful homes, designer clothing, visible success. Invisible assets rarely receive the same attention. But there was a problem. If building wealth is really this straightforward, why do so many intelligent, hardworking people continue believing that earning more is the answer? The explanation lies much deeper than mathematics. It lies inside the human mind, an understanding that psychology changes everything. For generations, we've been taught to believe that income is the scorecard of financial success. Ask someone what they do, and one of the first questions that follows is often, does it pay well? Rarely does anyone ask a far more important question. What do you do with what you earn? That single question separates appearance from reality. Imagine two buckets. One bucket is labeled income. The other is labeled wealth. Most people assume they're the same bucket. They're not. Income is simply the flow of money. Wealth is what remains after your financial decisions have had their say. The distinction sounds simple, yet millions spend their entire lives confusing one for the other. Consider professional athletes who earn tens of millions of dollars during their careers, only to face financial hardship years after retirement. Or lottery winners whose fortunes disappeared almost as quickly as they arrived. Their stories aren't rare because they lacked income. They're common because income alone has never guaranteed wealth. Money simply amplifies existing habits. If someone spends everything they earn, earning twice as much often means spending twice as much. The paycheck grows, the lifestyle grows, the pressure grows, but lasting wealth doesn't. Behavioral economists call this lifestyle inflation. Every increase in income quietly raises expectations. The apartment becomes a house. The house becomes a larger house. The vacation becomes more luxurious. Yesterday's dream becomes today's normal. And once something feels normal, it no longer satisfies us. The cycle begins again, without realizing it. Many people become trapped on what psychologists call the hedonic treadmill. No matter how much faster they run, they never feel like they've truly arrived. But something fascinating happens when someone refuses to play that game. Instead of allowing every raise to fund a bigger lifestyle, they direct part of it toward ownership. A small investment, a dividend-paying stock, a retirement account, a business, an index fund. The increase in income still improves their life, but also improves their future. That difference compounds in ways most people never notice. 10 years later, the gap is no longer measured in nicer possessions. It's measured in options. One person must continue working because every dollar has already been promised to a lifestyle. The other begins discovering something priceless. Choice. The freedom to say no. The freedom to change careers. The freedom to spend more time with family. The freedom to take risks without fear. This is the hidden purpose of wealth. Not to impress strangers, but to buy back your time. And here's the irony. The people who appear richest often own the least freedom because so much of their income is committed to maintaining appearances. Meanwhile, those quietly building assets may look ordinary today while constructing extraordinary freedom tomorrow. This is the first great illusion of wealth. The world celebrates income because it's visible. Real wealth grows in silence because ownership rarely announces itself. Daniel believed success meant upgrading every part of his life. Alex believed success meant upgrading his future. 20 years later, one owns expensive memories. The other owns financial independence. The lesson isn't that earning more is unimportant. Higher income creates opportunity, but opportunity without discipline quickly disappears. Income can change your lifestyle. Only behavior can change your financial destiny. And that leads us to an even deeper question. If money isn't the real problem, Why do so many intelligent people repeatedly make financial decisions that work against their own future? The answer has been hiding inside the human brain all along. And once you understand it, you'll never look at spending the same way again. Imagine walking into a luxury shopping mall. The lights are warm. The music is carefully chosen. Every store is spotless. Every product is displayed as though it belongs in a museum. Nothing about the experience is accidental. Every color, every scent, every sound, every detail has been designed with one objective: to influence a decision. Most people believe they make rational financial choices. Behavioral finance tells a very different story. Long before you compare prices or read product reviews, your brain has already begun making emotional judgments. And those judgments are far older than money itself. To understand why, we have to travel back thousands of years. Long before banks, long before businesses, long before credit cards, human beings survived in small tribes. In those communities, status wasn't simply about ego. It often meant survival. People with higher status had better access to food, greater protection, more opportunities to reproduce, stronger social influence. Your brain evolved to care deeply about where you ranked within the group. That instinct helped our ancestors stay alive. The problem is that evolution moves slowly. Civilization moves quickly. Today, we no longer compete for survival in tribes. We compete for attention, recognition, validation, and status. The human brain doesn't always recognize the difference. This is where modern consumer culture becomes incredibly powerful. Companies rarely sell products. They sell identities. Think about luxury watches. Functionally, a $50 watch and a $10,000 watch perform the same basic task. They tell time, yet millions willingly pay enormous premiums. Why? Because they aren't purchasing the watch. They're purchasing what the watch communicates: success, achievement, exclusivity, respect. The product becomes a social signal. The same pattern repeats itself everywhere. Luxury cars, designer clothing, exclusive neighborhoods, premium smartphones, high-end restaurants. Each purchase silently answers a psychological question: who am I? But there was something marketers understood long before most consumers did. People don't buy with logic. They justify with logic. They buy with emotion. A commercial rarely says, "This car has reliable engineering." Instead, it shows freedom, confidence, adventure, admiration. It invites you to imagine a different version of yourself. A version people notice. A version people respect. Suddenly, the purchase is no longer about transportation. It's about identity. And identity is one of the strongest psychological forces influencing financial behavior. This explains something many people find confusing. Why does someone earning a modest salary buy luxury brands they can barely afford? It's rarely because they need the product. It's because they crave the feeling attached to it. Recognition, belonging, importance, acceptance. These emotional rewards activate the brain's dopamine system. For a brief moment, buying something expensive genuinely feels good, but only briefly. Soon, the excitement fades. The purchase becomes ordinary. The brain begins searching for the next emotional reward. A newer phone, a larger television, a more expensive vacation, another upgrade. Without realizing it, many people become trapped in an endless cycle of emotional spending. They aren't chasing products. They're chasing feelings. And feelings never stay satisfied for long. Yet there was another hidden force quietly making this cycle even stronger. One that almost didn't exist 20 years ago. Social media. And once that entered the picture, comparison became constant. Not occasional, not monthly, every single day. The consequences would reshape the way millions of people think about money. For most of human history, comparison happened slowly. You compared yourself to your neighbors, your coworkers, perhaps a friend or two. Today, you compare yourself to thousands of people before breakfast. You open your phone. Someone just bought a new house. Another friend is vacationing in the Maldives. A former classmate just announced the purchase of a luxury sports car. An entrepreneur posts a screenshot of a six-figure month. Within minutes, your brain begins asking a dangerous question. Am I falling behind? The fascinating part is that your financial situation may not have changed at all. Yesterday, you were perfectly content with your apartment. Today, after scrolling for 10 minutes, it suddenly feels too small. Yesterday, your car was reliable. Today, it feels outdated. Nothing in your life changed. Only a reference point did. Behavioral psychologists call this social comparison. We rarely judge our success in absolute terms. Instead, we judge it relative to the people around us. And in a digital world, the people around us now includes millions of carefully curated lives. But here's the hidden truth. You're rarely comparing your everyday reality to someone else's everyday reality. You're comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel. You see the luxury vacation, not the credit card debt. You see the designer clothes, not the monthly payments. You see the expensive home, not the financial stress that comes with maintaining it. Appearances have become easier to display than ever before. Real wealth has become even harder to recognize. This is exactly why looking wealthy has become one of the greatest obstacles to actually becoming wealthy. Because every dollar spent to maintain an image is a dollar that can no longer build ownership. Every financial decision carries an invisible question. Will this purchase increase my status or increase my freedom? Most people answer that question emotionally. The wealthy learn to answer it strategically. That doesn't mean wealthy people never enjoy life. Far from it. They simply understand something many people never discover. Money has two jobs. It can purchase comfort today, or it can purchase freedom tomorrow. Neither choice is automatically right or wrong. The problem begins when every dollar serves only today's emotions while tomorrow is completely ignored. Think about two individuals receiving the exact same $5,000 bonus. The first immediately upgrades their wardrobe, books a luxury vacation, and finances a new watch. Within weeks, the money is gone. The second celebrates too, but differently. A small experience with family. The remainder invested into assets that quietly grow for years. Both enjoyed the bonus. Only one turned a temporary reward into a permanent advantage. That is the difference between consumption and ownership. And it begins long before someone becomes wealthy. It begins with identity. Consumers ask, what can this money buy? Investors ask, what can this money become? That single shift changes everything. Because wealth isn't created by isolated decisions. It's created by repeated patterns. Patterns become habits. Habits become identity. Identity becomes destiny. Once someone begins thinking like an owner instead of consumer, every paycheck starts working differently. Every purchase is questioned. Every investment gains meaning. Every financial decision becomes part of a much larger story. But understanding psychology alone isn't enough. Recognizing the trap doesn't automatically create wealth. You still need to know the rules of the game. And surprisingly, they're almost never taught in school. Because while most people spend their lives learning how to earn money, very few ever learn how money actually builds wealth. That's the game we're about to uncover. And once you see it, you'll wonder why nobody explained it sooner. By this point, Emma's salary hadn't changed dramatically. She wasn't suddenly earning twice as much. She had won the lottery or discovered a secret investment available only to the wealthy. Yet something remarkable had happened. Her financial life was becoming stronger every single month. Not because of how much money entered her account, but because of where that money went after it arrived. This is where many people misunderstand wealth. They believe the wealthy possess extraordinary opportunities. In reality, they often possess extraordinary allocation. Every dollar receives a mission. Some dollars buy freedom, others buy comfort. The question is whether today's comfort quietly steals tomorrow's freedom. Behavioral finance calls this opportunity cost. Every financial decision closes the door on countless alternatives. Buying a luxury car doesn't just cost the purchase price. It also costs the investments that were never made, the dividends that were never earned, the compound growth that never had the chance to begin. These invisible costs rarely appear on a receipt, but over 20 or 30 years, they become enormous. This explains why two people with identical incomes can end up living completely different lives. One gradually accumulates liabilities that demand constant income. The other steadily accumulates assets that begin producing income of their own. At first, the difference seems insignificant. A few $100s invested each month. A few unnecessary purchases avoided. A few deliberate financial decisions. But compounding has a unique characteristic. It rewards patience far more than intensity. For years, progress appears almost invisible. Then suddenly, the results become impossible to ignore. The wealthy understand this. They don't chase dramatic breakthroughs. They build quiet momentum. Like a flywheel, each small decision makes the next one slightly easier. One investment creates returns. Those returns purchase more assets. Those assets generate additional cash flow. Eventually, money begins working harder than the person who earned it. And that's the moment everything changes. Not because income increased, but because ownership replaced dependence. This shift also transforms how people think about work. Most people rely entirely on earned income. If they stop working, the income stops too. Their financial life depends on constant effort. But owners operate differently. Their investments continue producing value, whether they're actively working or not. A business generates profits. Dividend-paying stocks distribute income. Rental properties create cash flow. Intellectual property earns royalties. These income streams don't eliminate work. They reduce dependence on a single paycheck. That's why ownership is so powerful. It separates wealth from time. The next breakthrough Emma experienced wasn't financial. It was psychological. She stopped asking one question: how much can I afford? Instead, she began asking something entirely different. What will this money become if I don't spend it? That single question transformed every purchase. Each dollar was no longer just currency. It represented future freedom, future choices, future security. And once you begin seeing money that way, impulsive spending loses much of its power. Because every unnecessary purchase carries a visible reward and an invisible sacrifice. The truly wealthy train themselves to notice both. They don't simply evaluate price. They evaluate potential. That's why wealth building isn't about deprivation. It's about intentionality. It's understanding that money has two lives. The first ends the moment it's spent. The second begins the moment it's invested. The people who consistently build wealth choose the second life more often than the first. And over decades, that difference compounds into something extraordinary. Emma had finally learned the rules of the game. But knowing the rules doesn't guarantee victory. Because even after discovering how wealth is built, another challenge quietly waits for almost everyone. The habits that destroy wealth rarely announce themselves. They appear harmless, ordinary, even deserved. And that's exactly why they're so dangerous. Emma now understood how wealth grows. But understanding the formula was only half the battle. The real threat wasn't ignorance anymore. It was the invisible habits capable of destroying decades of progress, one small decision at a time. At first, the changes are almost invisible. No one congratulates you for skipping an unnecessary purchase. No one applauds when you invest instead of upgrading your lifestyle. There are no trophies for increasing your savings rate. And that's exactly why so many people quit. Human beings crave immediate evidence that their efforts are paying off. We naturally seek quick rewards because our brains evolved to value certainty over patience. When results don't appear quickly, doubt begins to creep in. Is this really working? Maybe I'm missing out. Everyone else seems to be enjoying life while I'm sacrificing. But this is where the identity shift becomes powerful. Someone with a consumer identity interprets delayed results as failure. Someone with an investor identity sees delayed results as proof they're on the right path. They understand something that most people overlook. The greatest returns in life often arrive long after the effort has been made. Think about planting an oak tree. For years, it barely seems to grow. Day after day, nothing appears to change. Yet beneath the surface, its roots are spreading deeper, preparing to support something much larger. Wealth follows a similar pattern. For a long time, progress feels almost invisible. Then one day, what seemed impossible starts looking inevitable. This is why compound interest is more than a financial principle. It's a psychological one. Your habits compound. Your knowledge compounds. Your discipline compounds. Your reputation compounds. Your relationships compound. And eventually, your wealth compounds too. The wealthy aren't simply rewarded because they invested money. They're rewarded because they became the kind of people capable of making good financial decisions repeatedly, even when those decisions felt insignificant. This perspective changes everything. Instead of asking, how much money did I make this month? They ask, did I strengthen the habits that will make me wealthier next year? Instead of obsessing over market fluctuations, they focus on consistency. Instead of chasing perfect opportunities, they build reliable systems. They understand that success is rarely created by one brilliant decision. It's created by thousands of ordinary ones. And once you begin thinking this way, something unexpected happens. Money stops feeling like the goal. It becomes a tool that purchases ownership, a tool that creates options, a tool that protects your future, a tool that gives you the freedom to spend more time with the people who matter most. Because the true purpose of wealth was never luxury. It was choice. The choice to leave a job that no longer aligns with your values. The choice to help your family during difficult times. The choice to pursue meaningful work instead of simply chasing the next paycheck. The choice to live intentionally instead of reactively. And those choices aren't created overnight. They're built through years of small financial decisions that most people never notice. That's why the wealthiest individuals often appear surprisingly ordinary. They aren't trying to look successful. They're too busy becoming financially secure. They've stopped playing the status game and started playing the ownership game. One rewards applause, the other rewards freedom. By now, the pattern should be impossible to ignore. Income matters, but behavior matters more. Knowledge matters, but consistent action matters even more. And above all, identity shapes everything. Because every financial decision casts a vote for the person you're becoming. Every purchase, every investment, every habit, every sacrifice, each one quietly answers the same question. Am I becoming a consumer or an owner? That single question may influence your financial future more than any salary increase ever could. But if wealth is ultimately about freedom, not income, then one final question remains. What does a life of true financial freedom actually look like? That's where our journey ends, and perhaps where yours truly begins. For years, many people chase wealth believing it will buy a better lifestyle. But the most financially successful people eventually discover something far more valuable. Wealth was never about buying more. It was about needing less and owning more. In the final chapter, we'll uncover the true purpose of wealth and why freedom, not money, is the ultimate measure of success. Imagine two people reaching the age of 65. The first spent 4 decades chasing higher salaries. Every promotion led to a larger house. Every raise justified a nicer car. Every bonus disappeared into a more expensive lifestyle. From the outside, their life looked successful. But beneath the surface, something was missing. The mortgage was still there. The monthly payments never stopped. The lifestyle they had built demanded that they keep working. Retirement wasn't a choice. It was a financial problem waiting to happen. Now imagine someone else. They didn't always earn more. In fact, for many years, they earned less than some of their peers. But they quietly followed a different philosophy. Instead of upgrading every time their income increased, they expanded their investments. Instead of buying status, they bought ownership. Instead of increasing expenses, they increased assets. Year after year, the gap widened. Not because they were luckier, not because they were smarter, but because every financial decision was made with one question in mind. Will this purchase create more freedom or less? That's a question few people ask, yet it changes everything. Because money itself isn't the destination. Freedom is. For decades, society has quietly convinced us that wealth is measured by visible success. Luxury cars, designer clothing, expensive vacations, massive homes, exclusive memberships. But these are often symbols of consumption, not freedom. Someone may own a luxury car while owing years of payments. Someone may live in a beautiful house while feeling trapped by the mortgage. Someone may earn impressive income while having no control over their time. Appearance and freedom are not the same thing. In fact, they often move in opposite directions. Real financial freedom is surprisingly ordinary. It means waking up without constant anxiety about bills. It means choosing work because you enjoy it, not because you have no alternative. It means having enough financial margin to handle unexpected challenges without panic. It means spending time with family instead of constantly chasing the next paycheck. It means saying no without fear. The irony is remarkable. Many people sacrifice freedom today to create an image of success. The wealthy often sacrifice the image of success to gain freedom tomorrow. One pursues admiration, the other pursues independence. And over time, the second path quietly transforms into something much more valuable. Not just financial security, but peace of mind. Behavioral economists often describe wealth as a resource. But psychologically, wealth is something much deeper. It reduces uncertainty. It increases choice. It lowers stress. It expands opportunity. Money cannot guarantee happiness, but financial insecurity can create constant pressure that influences nearly every decision a person makes. That's why true wealth isn't about owning everything. It's about no longer being controlled by money. When your investments begin producing income, when your expenses remain below your means, when your financial decisions are no longer driven by fear, something profound happens. You stop working only for today. You begin building for decades that haven't arrived yet, and perhaps for generations you'll never meet. Because real wealth doesn't end with the individual. It creates opportunities for children, stability for families, choices for future generations. One disciplined decision today can echo for decades. That's the extraordinary power of long-term thinking. Most people inherit habits. Some inherit debt. A fortunate few inherit assets. But behind every lasting financial legacy is someone who chose ownership over appearance. Someone who understood that wealth wasn't about consuming more. It was about creating more. And that realization leads to the final lesson of this entire documentary. Because the greatest financial investment you'll ever make isn't simply in stocks, businesses, or real estate. It's in becoming the kind of person who naturally builds wealth wherever life places them. There's an old belief that money changes people, but in many cases, money simply reveals who they already are. Give two people the same amount of wealth, and they may create completely different futures. One uses it to purchase more obligations. The other uses it to purchase more freedom. The difference isn't the money. It's the mindset behind every decision. That's why financial freedom isn't a finish line you suddenly cross one day. It's the result of thousands of decisions that slowly reshape your life. Every time you choose investing over impulse, every time you increase your financial margin instead of your lifestyle, every time you buy an asset instead of another liability, you're purchasing something far more valuable than the object you walked away from. You're purchasing future choices. Those choices are invisible at first. You don't notice them after 1 month, or even 1 year. But over decades, they become extraordinary. One day, an unexpected expense arrives. Instead of panic, there's confidence. A career opportunity appears. Instead of asking, which job pays more, you ask, which life do I actually want? A loved one needs your time. Instead of requesting permission, you already have the freedom to be there. This is what wealth quietly creates. Not just financial security, life flexibility. And flexibility is one of the rarest forms of wealth. Because time is the only asset every person spends at exactly the same rate. The billionaire cannot buy another yesterday. The minimum wage worker cannot save today's 24 hours for tomorrow. Time remains perfectly equal. Money simply changes how much control you have over it. That may be the greatest misunderstanding about wealth. People believe wealthy individuals are buying expensive things. In reality, the wisest among them are buying back their time. They're purchasing mornings without alarms, afternoons without unnecessary meetings, years without financial anxiety. The freedom to pursue meaningful work. The ability to say yes because they want to, not because they have to. Ownership eventually purchases something salaries never can. Choice. And perhaps that's why so many self-made millionaires continue living modestly long after they could afford extravagance. They've discovered that every unnecessary obligation steals a small piece of the freedom they spent years building. The bigger the lifestyle, the more that lifestyle often demands. The greater the financial commitments, the fewer choices remain. That's why true wealth often looks surprisingly quiet. It doesn't need constant attention. It doesn't compete for validation. It doesn't announce itself. Real wealth works silently. While people sleep, while markets fluctuate, while headlines change, assets continue producing, businesses continue operating, investments continue compounding, and slowly, almost invisibly, freedom continues expanding. This is the game the 1% understand. They don't simply accumulate money. They accumulate optionality. Every investment increases possibilities. Every asset expands flexibility. Every disciplined decision widens the gap between obligation and independence. Eventually, life begins to feel different, not because everything becomes easy, but because fewer decisions are made from desperation. Instead of asking, "Can I afford this?" they begin asking, "Does this move me closer to the life I actually want?" That single question transforms almost every financial decision. Because wealth is no longer measured by possessions. It's measured by possibilities. The possibility to retire on your own terms. The possibility to support your family during difficult seasons. The possibility to pursue meaningful work instead of merely profitable work. The possibility to leave something valuable behind for people you'll never meet. This is where the entire journey comes together. At the beginning of this documentary, we asked why people with similar incomes often end up living dramatically different financial lives. Now the answer is clear. Income starts the story. Behavior writes it. Identity shapes it. And time reveals it. Wealth was never hiding inside a larger paycheck. It was hiding inside ordinary decisions repeated consistently over extraordinary periods of time. The people who achieve lasting financial freedom rarely discover a secret investment. They discover a different way of thinking. They stop asking how to earn more. They begin asking how to own more. They stop chasing appearances. They start building permanence. They stop measuring success by what others can see. They measure it by the choices they'll have tomorrow. Because, in the end, wealth isn't about becoming richer than everyone else. It's about becoming free enough to live according to your own values. So as you leave this documentary, remember one simple question before every financial decision. Am I buying something that impresses people today, or something that gives me freedom tomorrow? Because decades from now, no one will remember the phone you upgraded, the car you leased, or the trends you followed. But your future self will remember every investment you made, every asset you acquired, every temptation you resisted, and every decision that quietly transformed income into lasting wealth. Because income determines how much money passes through your hands. Identity determines how much wealth stays in your life. If this documentary changed how you think about money, subscribe to the Wealth Lab. Because the greatest investment you'll ever make isn't in the market. It's in your mindset. And if you're ready to keep building real wealth, watch the next documentary, The Biggest Lie About Becoming Rich.